He was a U.S. Army sergeant trained to protect his country. But one night in Louisiana, Lee put on a mask, picked up a gun, and declared war on an innocent family. What drove a soldier to become a killer, and what happened when the truth finally caught up with him? Watch till the end, because some crimes don't end with a verdict. They echo through time. In the summer of 1985, under Louisiana's tranquil skies, a soldier crossed a threshold that would irreparably tarnish the uniform he wore. Lee, a 24-year-old Army sergeant at Fort Polk, was regarded by colleagues as disciplined and focused, a man who blended into the base's routine without drawing attention. Yet on a June night, something within Lee seemed to fracture. He left the barracks armed with a pistol and concealed by a mask, his intent diverging sharply from military honor. That night, Lee entered a nearby residence through an unlocked door, unnoticed by Clara, a 23-year-old girl in the kitchen, who was oblivious to the mortal danger now present in her home. The ensuing events would leave lasting scars on her family. Clara stood frozen in terror as Lee, a 24-year-old Black Army sergeant, held her hostage at gunpoint. The tension was palpable, and the situation seemed to escalate rapidly. Just moments later, her 20-year-old brother, Roy, walked into the scene with a smile, oblivious to the danger, thinking it was some kind of joke until the joke ended in horror. Before Roy could grasp the danger, a gunshot rang out, striking him in the face, and he collapsed instantly. His mother, Cynthia, in her 40s, heard the sound and rushed to her son's aid. But as she attempted to flee, Lee apprehended her. The traumatic scene unfolded within the confines of their own home, impacting 3 lives irreparably. Lee, masked and armed, was the perpetrator of the brutal acts. The ordeal, however, was far from over. Inside that house, unspeakable crimes unfolded. Lee molested both mother and daughter. He forced them to hand over $45,000, mocking their terror at gunpoint. The young boy, Roy, was still alive, barely. But mercy had no place in Lee's heart. He aimed the gun once more and pulled the trigger. Roy's mother screamed. Lee wiped his fingerprints, tied both women with cords, and vanished into the night. They freed themselves and called the police, but the nightmare had already burned its mark into history. Or so they thought. Days later, an anonymous tip reached base authorities, setting in motion a chain of events that led to Lee's arrest. A search of Lee's car yielded incriminating evidence: the stolen money and the gun used in the crime. The accumulating proof left Lee with little room to deny involvement. Subsequently, he confessed to the crimes, admitting to murder and molestation. But what could turn a soldier into a predator? That's the question that would haunt everyone who heard his name. In 1988, Lee was sentenced to death by the state of Louisiana. He would spend his days on death row, surrounded by others who'd crossed the same line of no return. In 1999, a dramatic turn of events unfolded as Lee joined 3 other inmates on death row in a bold escape attempt. However, the bid for freedom was short-lived. The group was swiftly recaptured, and Lee's prospects were once again grimly sealed. From a soldier sworn to protect, to a killer who destroyed everything in his path. Lee's story remains one of Fort Polk's darkest secrets, and to this day, no one truly knows why he did it. Click the like button, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more heart-touching true-life stories.